Okay, now it's spinning. And once it turns red, welcome everybody. Guess who I have in the studio with me? Cass, Clayton. I'm glad you joined us. KUHSdenver.com with the Denver Takeover Show. And she came out to see us about her new CD. It's hot, it's on fire. And I'm glad you joined us, Cass. It's a pleasure to meet you in person and see all the stuff. I've also got you right behind us with all this good stuff, and you can see it on the monitor here. And we're going to go over as soon as this music stops in the background. We're going to talk to you a little bit more about what's going on in your neck of the woods, like they say, right? So, right now you're listening in the background to Supernova by Motate. Motate is a great band, also from the Denver area. Super good. They are on fire. Good God Almighty. You want to model your band after somebody, Motate. But also, that's Clayton. And you've been working on your CD for a little bit, and man, does it come out nice. Everything about it, I think, is sharp. So, Cass, tell us, what compelled you to go ahead and make that your cover?
Well, it's hard to choose a cover. It is. I think we went through 50 photos and, designs and things, but we ultimately decided on a picture of me because I'm fronting the band and it seems to be what people respond to when we post things. So we just kept it as
Cass Clayton.
Cass Clayton, yeah.
And how long have you been at this? Cass, you've been at it a little while.
Yeah, but not as long as people would think. I've only been singing and doing music for 4 years.
That's a long time.
It feels like forever. No, it happened so much out of the blue. And a really dear friend who is in one of the bands that I'm in, CC and the Riders, Rich Liner, invited me to sing one time because they were missing a singer, and I had never sung before, and they thought they were being punked. They just couldn't believe I hadn't done it, and we had such a great time together. I knew I was pretty much hooked immediately. It was just internal.
It's so much fun to be on stage, isn't it?
It's so much fun.
So you never had any kind of background in singing?
No.
Serious?
No.
Serious is a heart attack.
As a heart attack.
You swear on a stack of Bibles.
I do. If there was a stack of Bibles here, I would swear on them. Yeah.
4 years. And what, you got started, you're playing the guitar in this one cover.
Yes, and I play slide guitar. I started slide guitar about 2 years after I started singing.
Oh, my God.
Because I felt like the band, there were these moments that I thought could be accentuated with slide guitar. And I love it. I think, the thing that I love about good slide guitar players, Bonnie Raitt, Sonny Landreth, people like that, is that it's an extra voice, and it's such an emotional instrument. So I don't play it all the time. I choose my moments.
You choose your moments. And so you've been playing around town, and you're going to be playing at Dazzle.
Yes.
I love Dazzle. We've gone down there and we did live streaming. We can take our cameras anywhere.
Oh,
but this new kind
amazing.
of stuff, it's so cool. You get right up on you and pulling some really good stuff. Tell us about some of the gigs that you've had, and I'm going to patch into you and go ahead and tell us about it.
Oh, thank you. I think, Dazzle's been one that I've wanted to do for a long time. It's Denver's top jazz club for a number of years, as voted by Westward Magazine, and it's just such an elegant club. I used to go there when it was on Broadway, and now it's downtown. But we play all over. We're at, Lincoln's Roadhouse and Stargazers Theater in Colorado Springs.
That's a nice.
It is beautiful sound in there. It's an old domed theater, and we try to differentiate where we play from the other band, CC and the Riders. But we'll go anywhere. We're just
CC and the Riders. Tell me about CC and the Riders. I like that name. That's a great name.
Thank you. Those are the musicians who originally got me started doing this. It's led by Dan Burke, and Dan is just a phenomenal musician and a great friend. He really taught me most of the really tough lessons I needed to learn that first couple of years. Things like microphone dynamics and
dynamics of the band and controlling it with your hands and stuff. And bring it down. Come on, give me some dynamics.
He's so good at that, and I was not comfortable with it, of course, for a long time.
So, and then you would get all hurt because you're a female and you're up there.
Well,
right? Come on, it's real.
I was afraid to be vulnerable, and he said, it doesn't matter how good your voice is if you don't surrender. And
that's right.
I mean, it's like a daily life lesson. It was wonderful for him to coach.
Plus, you're not fully dressed unless you're wearing your style.
That's so true. That is so true.
When you're fronting a band, you've got to,
You definitly are communicating. I've learned to trust
even though there's nobody over there smiling at you, you point at them.
You're pointing over there.
Me?
And what's really interesting is I really do make a point to connect with every single person. If I can see a person with my eyes, I will connect with them.
And so you learn that.
That's what we're there for.
Yeah. And learning the front part of, fronting the band,
yeah.
You know that you've got to be on point. And you tell me this. Singing a song without the words.
Oh, I just make it up. And
I know you go, is that?
I've done everything from mumbling through it to making up a whole different verse to repeating a verse I've already done.
And everybody's looking at you like,
yeah.
What are you doing?
If I look over at a band member, they'll sometimes be giggling, but the audience never knows. But we get a kick out of it.
Fun.
It's such a joy. Such a joy. Really.
Have you ever used wireless mics?
We haven't used wireless mics.
We're still proud
if I had a wireless mic, I would be dangerous. I would never make it back to the stage.
What is she doing on the table?
Get her off of
Get her off there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Back to the 80s. Oh, man, back on the table.
That's so much fun. But, you look at all these things in 4 years and, come a long way in 4 years. Look at this. 4 years. Now, people, there's some of you out there still doing it after 25 years and you haven't got CD. Come on. And you're still doing cover. Stop it already. Right, Kat?
Well, I think as soon as I started singing, I knew I wanted to write. That was the thing and I love doing covers as well, but you can't tell your own story until you start writing. And I was terrified to write something wrong. And I wrote, there are 10 songs.
I know there's always a love tune somewhere.
There is always a love tune. They're usually disastrous for me. But Taylor Scott wrote
you
this.
Left me and then
exactly. Yeah. Everybody has something to say. It's a process of trust. So I think when Taylor Scott was producing this, he was basically, asking me to, say what I mean and be truthful and honest and say the tough, difficult things that you don't want to say. I mean, I am not a crier. I actually have a hard time crying, but I think Taylor Scott has seen me cry more than anybody else. It just brings out the emotions. And I can't wait to continue with the next one.
But in some of your songs, you do bring out that emotion because the emotion is part of the way you deliver your song. You don't have that delivery of a good emotion. I mean, if you're just like,
yeah. And it's really, you have to feel it. There's no way to fake that. You really have to, people are so amazing at sensing the truth. People know the truth within themselves. And they know when somebody's faking it. And so the truth about music is that the music that we all love, I believe we often love it because it touches on some honest part of ourselves, something that needs to be healed or something that wants to experience joy. And the musicians, their job to express that and feel it. And you can feel when any musician, whether they're playing an instrument or they're a vocalist, and that's their instrument, you can feel when they are letting it all out and letting that inner truth come out.
Good. You almost made me cry.
Don't you cry, because then I'll cry.
See, you say you don't cry. I'm crying. Just joking there. I always have some fun. We get good guests in here, and we have a blast. It's really nice to have somebody like Clayton who's wide open with what she's doing. Look at that. That cover is beautiful, and right behind us, you can see her whole band. Where was this at? You were doing a really good jam there somewhere.
Yeah, that was actually in Moab.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. That was one of our first shows. We drove down to Moab with the new band and had a great time. It was like 95 in the shade, I think. I don't think there's ever been a show where we didn't have fun. We just, we're there to spread the love and feel the love, and it really is a connection with the audience, and it's the best drug there is and the safest one.
And I was going to ask you, do you ever get the one or two or three good-looking guys? Cass. Hey, girl. Come on, fess up. Fess up. I'm gonna pull in close to you. Let's see how you turn red on that.
No, I think I am going to turn red on that one. It's a funny thing because people, when they see you in this context, they think sometimes you're more interesting than you really are. But we're really, I go home and I fix dinner for my family and pick my 12-year up from school, and I think people see you in this very, very sensual context. And I think if they saw me with my ponytail and sweats at home, they might not be so interested.
Is that Cass?
Oh, she cleans up okay.
That's pretty funny. She cleans up okay. And Cass, like have you ever go like far away with your band?
We haven't yet. We've done a little regional travel, but I think that's coming. I'm getting pretty close to signing with a management company that will, find some more, national shows. I had mixed feelings about doing that, but I think, if you do a CD and you're doing music from the heart, you just follow the next step and the next step, and that seems to be the next one.
And the genre, what's the genre on this one?
Boy, that is such a great question. I mean, I think one of the great things about doing music without a record company is that you don't have to choose one.
That's right, and that's what's good.
And it has funk and soul and R&B. I would say those are, and blues. That's the essence of it. But there's singer-songwriter feeling stuff. And, when Taylor and I were writing, I kept thinking, well, should we just create some rocker to get people out dancing and keep the crowds happy? Just write what you feel.
That's right. And it came out nice. I've been listening to a lot of it. I play a lot of it on this show. I think I played 2 or 3 of the tracks that you sent me. Then I got the whole CD, so I got the whole CD in there. And so, it fits what we do here because we're all genre. And for those who don't know KUHS radio TV, we're all genre. From country to jazz to soul to R&B to Spanish music. We hit every angle, which is, busting it out on all 8 cylinders, which is nice.
Yeah.
So
it's great because I think people who listen to music, the truth is none of us are loyal to one genre. We just want to hear good music. Yeah. So when I listen to a radio station, I really want to hear a little bit of everything in different shows, and that's what makes it fun.
And do you go out dancing?
Sometimes. I'm a terrible dancer.
Oh my God, you're on stage and she's really
well, I'm a good wiggler.
A good wiggler.
But, it's funny. We have these dancers who come out, and there are amazing dancers. So when you start comparing yourself to
and they keep the beat for you, like,
They do. They make my night.
You wanted to play the song, That's What They Say.
Yeah.
So we're going to play that song next in 30 seconds. So we got to say a little something within 30 seconds and talk about this song. That's What They Say. And then
okay. Well, That's What They Say. We wrote. It's a song I wrote the lyrics to, and then Taylor Scott composed it, and we really heard it in the same way. It's a song about gossip. And, I grew up in a super small town. There's something that people love about, other people's hardship. I don't know if it makes people feel better, but in small towns, I was always afraid of gossip. My mom detested gossip, but my grandmother was in the church.
So we'll be back with that gossip here in a second. Okay, so.
Well, that's what they say is what my grandma used to say. She'd say, well, they say that her child was born out of wedlock. Whose child wasn't born out of wedlock? But there was always, there were these whisperings in the church, especially what people were doing wrong. And
his brother's mother's son's former roommate was with her.
Totally, exactly. And now and everybody knows everybody.
Seriously.
So, absolutely. So that's what they say is about. It's about the stories and the tragedies that people share about other people. And on the bridge of this song, it talks about
they say. I like that. I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, yeah. That's what they say. And if you go astray, those ladies are right there to share it with everyone.
That little.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
How come like the men never got put down for that?
I don't think men gossip as much. Do they? Okay, except Henry.
Go figure.
People like a good story, and I think gossip always is a good story.
Let me tell you about
bad
a good
decisions
story.
make good stories.
Good story is Cass Clayton here in the studio. Isn't that a good story? Tell us. You also went, I thought I read about you being in a magazine.
Yes, Blues Blast magazine just did a great review of the album. I was so grateful for that because, an album review, it is. They're hard to get, and you don't get to choose what they're going to say. And it was very thorough and a really
What
nice
did you say about it?
review. So yeah, I was so glad that Blues Blast covered us because it's a magazine that all of us blues people get.
Yes,
and we get it in the email and we follow it.
Was it the front page or just the story?
It was the front page.
So there's no gossip going on here. That's what people say. It's written on the front page.
That's right.
I'm going to get out of this one now.
Exactly. Once it's on the front page.
Man, that's gospel.
So I'll tell you a story about gossip. My dad got caught. He got pulled over. Not pulled over. He was parked with a girlfriend, and the police knocked on the window, and they were making out, and it made the newspaper because that town has so little news.
Oh, fudge.
So yes.
Well, I got pulled over just the other day.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was thinking about that.
Yes. Yeah.
And I kind of just tried to put it down a little bit. He goes,
yes.
I go, have you been drinking tonight, sir? No, sir.
No.
I don't know what gave me away. Well, sir, no. It was nothing.
No. Back in the day.
Remember they pull you over and just take away your booze and spill it out. Get on your way.
And they drive home carefully, go straight home.
And
that
you're just
actually,
like a block away anyways. Just up and down the main street.
It's so true. It's so true. Everybody knew,
Yeah, that's what it's.
Of course, if you did anything wrong, your
It was
mom
on the
knew
front
before
the newspaper.
you did. Yeah.
You get home, I heard that you did.
Exactly. That's it.
Hilda called me right now and said you were over at the Mellow Boy's house. What are you doing over there?
Oh gosh, that's so
real.
Yes, my sister was such a good kid. She got caught doing any little thing. I was kind of a troublemaker, and I never got caught.
Boy, am I getting some good stuff. Okay, say?
Yes.
That's good stuff. That's the audio.
Yeah.
So you can listen to us on KUHSdenver.com, all the platforms. If you're listening in, you can go back live with Cass Clayton here at KUHSdenver.com. I'm glad y'all joining. This is really interesting because that's what they say. I'm telling you. We'll talk a little bit more, then we're going to go back to another track, Used to Be, and how this came about, Used to Be.
So, Used to Be is about
how it used to be?
How it used to be, exactly. Going through changes based on your decisions, some of them things that you wish you hadn't done that people can't really know the old you. They can never know who you used to be. And
I'll find out.
It's kind of a dark
I'm gonna go talk to your old township. They know everything.
They know, exactly.
Did you hear what happened?
It's in the archives. Yes. I always knew
happened.
that girl would end up in jail someday.
Yeah. I know that was always it. Have you ever been to jail?
No.
Damn it.
I've never done anything really wrong like that, but I've been mischievous, but never done anything.
I've never been
put
caught.
me in jail. and if I was going to do it, I would make sure I wasn't caught.
Yeah, that's a key. Now, when you go on stage and stuff, do you have a particular type of clothing you wear?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Stage
changed.
clothing?
I mean, I wear almost all black because black photographs well, and yeah, it's completely different than what I wear at home.
Right?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Is that cast?
But yeah, I
she's
mean,
a black widow.
I dress a little more, provocatively or sexy.
Yeah,
sexy
that's
on
what it's
stage.
all about
That's
because
part of
that's
it.
what draws.
It's part of the show. It is, and I've noticed even not just with myself, but all of the musicians. There's just this interaction with the audience, and people are interested in connecting, and so we all try to look our best.
Here we go with "Used to Be." We're not talking over this song. Drummer pulling down his Radamacue triple paradiddle twin flames.
This is the craziest song. So I'm singing through an old Leslie.
Really?
Yeah. So it's wobbling my voice. So
to simulate how you felt when you were young, drinking, falling. All right. Right.
It's really, I think it's the dark mood to that song. Like, you don't know me. You don't know me because I'm not that person anymore. Like, it's just
Cass. Not that person. I'm getting it first year on KUHS about Cass Clayton. I didn't think she was. I thought we were talking about this. No. Another side.
Nothing if not an open book, I guess. If I wasn't before, I am now.
So I'll be at your book.
Well, do you remember reading albums?
Yes, that's
all
a
the
yeah.
through the days.
This is interesting. You're really interesting, Cass Clayton. For those who just joined us here on KUHSdenver.com, Cass Clayton here in the studio with us and talking about her new CD release. It's getting acclaim all over Denver and all over the world right now. So whoever wants to pick it up, it takes a little time for it to go all over the world. But once it catch on with it, it's a hit. And that happens to a lot of different musicians that come out here. They're like, whoa, it's hit one musician, he's on fire. It's number 8 on Billboard. Really interesting.
Oh, I love to hear that.
That happened. This one, you have all the workings of a great song. The looks, the album cover, just her promo behind us, and you see everything about her. Cass Clayton's on her way. 4 years. Only 4 years. Which means, this is giving me the dark side, so I've got all the skinny on Cass. Wait until we go off this live stream, and I'm going to really get this stuff.
Yeah. Here come the questions.
Tell us some more. Like, now, do you play your guitar on stage?
I do.
What song?
Again, I choose my moments. This album does not have me playing because we had Taylor Scott, who is just a phenomenal musician. He's so dexterous, and none of these songs were live songs.
Use those big words.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got the best feel, and these songs just didn't come out as live songs. But if it's got the opportunity for slide and it's going to add to it, I will play. I hope so. I think the thing about slide that I like is that it's like playing an unfretted instrument, so you're using your ear to stay in tune. You
just got to hear Used to Be. That's track number 7 is what I understand. So it's off her new CD, Used to Be. So you're getting to hear it live. We're going down through a series of songs as we listen to the music. And the next one coming up is Phase of the Moon. And I bet you, which one's the love song here?
The Phase of the Moon is definitely a love song.
I knew it. That's why I said.
Yeah.
That's why I asked that question.
Yeah.
This is the Phase of the Moon, babe.
And in this song, the moon is the lover.
I know.
Yeah, it's just the best part.
Talk to me about it.
Well, Phase of the Moon is about losing someone you love and the inevitability of losing somebody. Even while you're together, you know that illness or death or something someday that's going to end. And I think that's the vulnerability of being human. Nothing lasts forever. And the phase of the moon is the phases of life, the being,
whoa. Make me cry.
Not again. But that's,
that is touchy.
The song was hard to write. It really was the hardest song to write.
Makes your heart
He was such a yam. He should be the one on stage.
No, I'm interviewing you. We're having a good time. Look at it.
You should, because you're very boisterous.
No, I'm just talking about the phase of the moon. And it's a great song. I mean, Jesus, it's a lover's song. If you lose somebody, you know what that means. You can only talk to the moon.
Yes, yeah, that's it. Then it's just you and the moon.
And the big one that's been out lately, have you seen it? Oh man, I was out there just wanting to kiss and make out.
Yeah. It's that kind of moon.
So here we go with Phase of the Moon coming up next. You're going to like this. It's a love song. No, you've seen it on the song.
Phase of the Moon was some of the songs when I wrote them, they just came in one writing. But most of them, there was a combination of inspiration and work. This one was just so hard to get to the core of what I wanted to say. It was a hard song to write. Yeah, nobody wants to think about losing.
No, but I mean, it's gotta happen.
It's gotta.
I'm gonna listen to this over and over again, and I'm gonna go by a tree, by a river.
By a river, exactly. The other one on this album that is really a love song is Still Water. Yeah. We don't. Which is okay. Like, it's just, it's a really gentle, soft song. But
we have enough time. Phase of the Moon. You listen to Phase of the Moon by Clayton. It's been a joy having her in here. She's bubbly, and I didn't expect this out of her. I thought she was going to be like someday coming here.
Serious and moody.
I won't let her be.
No, I can't imagine.
I can't imagine.
No.
Bring out the best part. This song right here, this happens sometimes with the other artists, big name artists.
Yeah.
If somebody big grabs this song and redoes it, someone else.
That is a great thing about Brandon is that people pick up. There's a musician who's been touring and she asked me if she could cover one of the songs, and I said, yes, of course, cover a song. And that's when you know you're doing your job. It's real for somebody else too.
This is nice. If a big name artist grabs a hold of it and they go about and they all of a sudden have a number one hit with it, because that happens a lot. Over and over and over again. Someone's country with this song and R&B. Someone just would go with the crossovers.
Absolutely. Okay, Bonnie, ready? Wait by the phone.
One Republic that happened to him with Adele.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
He was poor, running from his landlord, running on credit cards.
Yeah.
Barely, over Taco Bell. And now, he's hoping.
Yeah.
And that happens, you don't know when it's going to be. Usually it's a hard business. It's hard to even just launch stuff this time. And 4 years, I'm really proud of you, Cass. Down in the property. They probably love you on stage. The whole band loves you.
We love what we're doing. We have so much fun.
And I always say this just for fun.
Yeah.
I always say this. I'm coming back to this shit. It's so freaking easy.
It is easy. It is kind of funny because there are difficult things about being a woman, but I think most of it's an advantage, not a disadvantage. In this country.
In this country?
Yes.
She made sure to say that.
I better qualify
She made sure to say in this country because
yeah.
That is really funny. Because in some other countries, women are they have to put on their full garb. They can't do nothing. They're less than men.
Yeah.
And you stay in there barefoot and pregnant. Get out of here. Make me food and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. If you're born in the United States as a woman in this day and age, you can count yourself amongst the luckiest people in the world.
You know this Me Too movement?
Yeah.
It's the Men Too movement.
Men Too. And we've all had, I'll tell you, we've all had Me Too moments, but just the other day there was a woman grabbing one of the band members, like really.
Yeah, grabbing his butt.
Yeah, well, and other things. And
yes.
He's playing guitar, so he can't get away. I mean, it happens on both sides,
yes,
trust
it
me.
does. And then they say, oh, you like it.
Right.
Well, I do, but not here on stage while I'm performing.
Right. I think if anybody ever touched me, the guys would all jump on it.
What happened?
Because it was a guy.
They beat him up. It was his brother. It was Cass's brother.
Right.
He just came to say hello. No,
yeah, it's, there's a little bit of that. But I think, what I don't want to happen is that people don't feel free to have fun and express themselves and be,
And one other thing, Cass, we've got this one up here called Let's Not Be Friends.
Yes.
But let's not be friends. Tell me about that. Why can't we be friends?
This was the first song that Taylor and I wrote together. And I had this title. I said, wouldn't Let's Not Be Friends be a great title? But not in a snarky way, but really, let's not be friends, let's be something more. Let's be more than friends, let's be lovers. And,
oh my God.
So that was the basis of that song. And of all the songs, this is the song that the neighborhood boys like, which is really, really funny. The teenagers.
And she makes sure to say like teenagers. It's still going on to this day. The neighborhood boys,
Not the older ones, the teenagers. So,
Sure, Cass. But this is a great song. This is let's not be friends, let's be lovers. Whoa. I got talked into it.
She said.
What a lot of fun. Cass Clayton, it's, you have a great album going on. This song is entitled Let's Not Be Friends. But we're going to be friends. I mean, she had no choice. I got to go be friends with Henry. Oh, good God. She's going to leave out of here with drain damage.
I already have drain damage.
Poor thing. Henry will say, you shouldn't have it.
I don't think so.
KUHSdenver.com. Streaming internationally, we're called Global, which is global and local. So we go international. We're technologically driven. I showed her some of the cool tools that we have in the studio. People don't know we have these tools, but man, it's some nice tools. And we're able to offer local artists, as opposed to the record company, 5 cents off your CD, and they keep the rest of them. Now you can put it up there for 99 cents, get Cass's entire album. If you just like 3 or 4 songs, 99 cents a piece. Don't wait. It's really a good album. We play it here. You may want to check it out. And where can you get it?
Well, you can get it anywhere you buy music right now. I mean, it's of course on my website, which is cassclayton.com. But it's on, everywhere. If you're buying music here,
there you go. Coming from Cass Clayton, she's only been at it 4 years. I am totally surprised because most musicians, they've been at it like 15, 20 years and still don't have a CD, and they're still up there, playing cover songs and saying, I hate this circuit. Durr. How can you not be on any other circuit if you don't do this?
Thank you. There's something that really changes when you start writing.
Yes. And we were talking about the band Motet. Look at they write their own music. They're all over. Gee, they are playing everywhere. And for big events, sometimes they do this and other events. Of course, you got to go to every type of event. Sometimes they're not so good. Sometimes you go there and they have a flat stage. They say, we got stage and sound and all this. You get there.
Right.
They got nothing. But that's
things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Got to roll with it. Mm-hmm. It's always an adventure. Every venue is a little different. The sound is different.
I gotta ask this question. This is one of the questions I could ask on the
Oh my god.
Oh, see, I nailed her.
My first boyfriend, his name is
Take your
Tyson.
time. Tell me how you feel.
And he actually lives in town here and is a musician himself now.
See, she's showing it up now.
He's my first love.
And what does he play? His role?
He plays bass.
Oh, I thought you said
Yeah, he's a great musician. Great
Does he
guy.
still talk to you?
Yeah, we talk sometimes, yeah.
You still get that pitter patter?
You know, it's a really weird thing. I always get nervous to talk with him. I do to this day. Yes. I just so get nervous to talk with him. But, you know, I'm very, very happily married, very much in love. But if there's something about your first love that it's always kind of a special thing.
See, I got the scoop, everybody. Like that.
Nobody's asked that one.
and that other one that we, you know, the whole town knows now.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we've got track number 5 coming up, and that's the Last Thoughts. Is that right?
It's Stillwater.
Stillwater. Is that the one that we were talking about?
Yeah. It's a love song. Another love song.
This woman is full of love.
Love.
And she brought me here, made me cry. Talk about love, say we just can't be friends. What am I going to do?
Well, you know, I mean, that's what life is about. Love. I mean, let's face it. There's nothing really that we're all supposed to be doing except that. And
making love. Good God, Cass.
Just trying to love everybody and be a good person. But Stillwater is about, you know, that person who, you know, brings you within yourself and knows the really deep part of you that even when you're doing crazy things and, you know, busy and, you know, with what we do, we're out on stages late at night. And
to the husband, she was
he knows.
I get it. But this is to you.
Yeah.
And you lay down at night and you know, no singer picks up any equipment or they just go hang out and talk to everything. Yes, come and help him. I'll be right there.
No, I am really good at loading in and loading out with the band.
Made sure and said that.
I do. I can like lift stuff. I can. Once in a while, I don't get there on time. No, you're right.
See? Track number 5 is what?
Stillwater.
What a love song. Boy, I like this stuff. It's great material.
It definitely comes from the heart.
Trying to remember just what love is.
I think I love, you know, the way the guitar is in this.
Do you ever do any kind of growling on any of your tunes?
Sometimes I do, especially live. I do, yeah.
Give it hell.
You know, I've always wished I had that, like Mavis Staples growl. And
but you probably did.
Yeah.
And do you ever extend some of the songs?
Absolutely. We go all over the map. Like, yeah. At a live performance, if everybody
loses somebody at the guitar player loses. It's not even on the song, but just,
absolutely. It's totally. In fact, so Lisa Brother Can Do has an interlude. Originally, that was part of the song, and the band, after the song, they just went off the rails, and it was so good.
It's from you. It's from Cass's energy. It's Cass's energy. You know, girl. Right?
Oh, they were on fire.
She said, yeah. She's all for it. Yeah. Yes. Now, some more.
It's a great question.
Of course it is.
Yes. I mean, because
that's why I'm asking it.
Most people would not be able to deal with this. You know, you're out late. You know, he knows that, you know, at the end of the night in a club, that there are...
Where are you at now? We're stopped to get breakfast.
No, I don't do that. I do go home, but he's really had fun. He really is. And he knows I come home with a lot of energy, so he's like, sometimes he waits up for me.
You have to talk.
Yeah. He's the one who said you've got to do something with your voice, because for years I was singing around the house. It's like, that's not a normal house singing voice. He's like, you got to do something.
Singing in the shower?
Yeah. That's what I was doing.
Laying in bed, just singing away.
I sing every day. Even if I'm sick, I sing.
But he supports you.
He does. He's
Isn't that
happy for
nice?
me. And I think, for years, I supported him doing what he loves, but I hadn't found
What does he
something like
love?
this.
Yeah, I'm getting the skinny on everything.
Yeah.
Listen in, everybody. It's recorded everywhere. Any sport.
Any sport. He loves
so he loves
running
baseball.
businesses. Business person who loves business. And he loves sports. Golf, basketball, water skiing,
I like
snow skiing.
basketball. Golf. There's a thing that Robin Williams does about golf.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever got to see it.
I don't think I did.
Oh, you got to see what he talks about.
I'll look it up, because I honestly don't understand why anybody would watch it on television, but obviously it's a very exciting sport for people on television.
Listen to Robin Williams, and he explains, why do they run around hitting a little golf and go for holes? The little ball. You got to hear
It's a mystery to me.
Yeah, that's what he says. He's got the most funniest thing about golf. I mean, Robin Williams, look him up on YouTube.
Okay, I will. I'll check it out. I love him anyway. He's such a funny man.
Oh,
yeah.
So we're moved up onto getting close to. We got one more song or two more songs we can play of yours. Now, did we hear them all?
No. Wow, that's amazing. Let's see. We could do Least a Brother Can Do, because that's.
We didn't play that yet?
We didn't.
But that's the least a brother can do.
Least a Brother Can Do.
Mm-hmm. And so we'll bring that up in about 1 minute. But tell me about how Least a Brother Can Do.
Well, this song I wrote about. I had gone through a really terrible depression when I was about 18. And a girlfriend pulled me out of it. I don't tend to get depressed actually in life, and I haven't ever had the problem since. I know. It's almost like now I look back, but I was really in a bad place, and I don't know why to this day. But she really was just there for me. She made me laugh. She was a wonderful friend. And this song is about it's the brother of humanity, pulling somebody out. And then I had the chance to do that for her later. She went through some real intense stuff.
They have this bullying and all that going on. I got bullied when I was young.
Yeah.
I got bullied like over and over again, but by the time I got to high school, I was one mean dude.
Yeah, it'll toughen you up. It's like, come on. No.
And so anybody ever wanted to bully me, I'd beat them up. You know, so that stopped.
Yeah.
But it had to stop because the girl was doing it.
They just had a crush on you.
Yeah. So this right here is Least a Brother Can Do by Clayton. Great tune. I got to hear this is one of the songs I've been playing along. I kind of throw up her name when I'm on family songs so you can hear this song. I like this. Least a Brother Can Do. So we're playing it in the background. So yeah, I had fun in high school.
I moved almost 9 times before I graduated high school.
Serious? So that's probably why. That's probably why you were going through it.
Yeah, I just didn't know myself.
You know who you are.
I do.
I'm coming back as Cass Clayton. I'm gonna come back as a chick. I'm being.
Exactly. I'm gonna come back as a dude. We'll just trade. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I think it would be. I think there are advantages to both. But I like being a woman. I definitely. I mean, you can't
play
really.
It well.
Thank you. It is a role.
And you really do a good job at it. You know?
Thank you.
That's why all you band members love her, right? Admit it. If you're watching this right now, admit it.
They're all just. It's a band of brothers. They're just great friends. And
now, do they have wives?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do they get jelly beans?
Everything's good. Huh?
Do they get jelly beans?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I'm not a very threatening person. I mean, they know I'm happily married. So I know for a fact that I've never heard of anybody being jealous of me. And I think I would know just because I know the women. I think I would know. I don't think they know at all. I think they know they can, trust me to be a sister to their husbands.
I love that. You hear that? That's right. We're listening to At Least a Brother Can Do It, Cass Clayton's new CD. Download it now on CassClayton.com. CassClayton.com. Go get your CD. Order the whole thing now or download the few songs that you like. Whether it be 6, 7, 2, 1, whatever. Just do it now. KUHSdenver.com has the pleasure of having Cass Clayton here today on the Denver Takeover Show. It's going to be indicated a little bit because we're going to start the Jazz and Soul Express coming up next, followed by a special Heartbeat show, which comes up at 4 to 6. And I'm going to be co-hosting that with the Love Doctor. Yes, if you want some zany craziness. So I'm preparing right now for that crazy thing. We'll have the telephone in the studio live. You can call in and give birthday wishes, do anything you like. Wish somebody a tune or two, whatever. But, that's 4 to 6. Make sure you join us.
Yes.
You can call in too.
I'll call in. I've got dedications to make. Hey, what are you wearing?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what we expect on that show. Because it's called the Heartbeat show. We can expect.
Yes.
So you can't just forget.
Okay.
They won't know who you are.
That's right.
Don't say who you are. We're having a great time here with Cass Clayton here on the Denver Takeover Show. I'd like to join us. Well, I've been having a good time with you, Cass.
So much fun.
It's been a lot of fun.
We got room.
Yeah, we got room for one more song. So you pick another song, and we'll talk about it before we let it roll, and then we're going to have to say goodbye to Cass. Time just flew by. Yeah,
let's do When It Comes to My Heart. It's number 3. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a weird one. It's not a ballad.
I'm in love.
I've got all these love songs, and I never thought of that. But yeah.
Tell us about this song. We got a minute and 30 seconds to tell us about the song. More love songs. All you guys, she broke all you guys' hearts. And I know that went down. I know something really went down. I could tell.
Oh my God.
I could feel her vibe. I was like, dude, look at me now. Right?
No.
Come on, fess up, Cass.
All right.
No. It'll be on the front page tomorrow.
Yeah, in my small hometown. Now that they're listening in.
They probably are.
Probably are. So when it comes to my heart was the first song that I ever wrote, and I took it to Dan Burke, who is in CC and the Writers, and he and Taylor helped me finish the song. Originally I wrote it as a ballad in my head, but Taylor, to his credit, said, the world doesn't need another crappy ballad. Let's make it something different. And so it's still got all of the things that I wanted to say from my heart, but it really has this amazing African feel, African beat, and this is where a producer is so important, that you find the one who gels with you, because every person who walks in the room when you're making an album is going to change the album. And it's important that they change it in a way that feels right. And it's the real deal. And I have to say, doing this in Far and Away Studios with Jeff Gray, that studio was the right studio. They just knew how to make the music. Beautiful.
Wow. Jeez. It's Cass. Good God, Cass. Jesus. Great song. All these love songs, I thought there was, she's bringing them out. She's taking it to you. And all you Cass boyfriends. It's over.
Oh my God. You're hilarious.
So, this song is great. So, Now if you want to say a big shout out to whoever you want, a big chime out, whoever you want, all over the world, say hello to your friends, your neighbors, your brothers, other brothers, mothers, sons, former roommate, anybody you want, go ahead and say
Oh, wow. Oh, gosh, I should have brought my scroll. I have so many
You
more
got
things.
plenty of time.
Really, I mean, all the musicians who played on this album, from Todd Smallwood, Taylor Scott, to, Dan Burke, Brian Claxton, Chris Harris, John Wirtz, Tom Amend, Larry Thompson, did I say Jeff Miguel? I mean, I'm going to forget somebody and it'll be disastrous. But they made the album, and that's why it sounds the way it does. These musicians who've been doing this for years, they bring their own heart to it. And doing this in Jeffrey's studio, far and away Studios in Boulder, with he and Alex. It became literally like my living room there. It was just a home away from home. And thanks, Mom, for giving me life.
I was waiting for that. Jeez, that was
I'm the best parent in the world, so you gotta think you're.
And my dog and my cat.
Lord Jesus, it's like you're like, okay, stop. It's not the Grammys.
That's one of the guys that we launched.
He did.
Yes, he's getting
That's
big.
fantastic.
But see, he's a backup singer for a lot of.
Can you tell me who it is?
It's Andy Stokes.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna go listen to him right away.
He's got some really good music. One of the songs I didn't think was gonna, but that's all it needs.
Yeah, you never know what people will.
Yeah, and he's just all over, traveling all over to all those radio stations, TV stations.
Yeah.
But he was a backup vocalist for a lot of big bands.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder, all
wow.
Big band with a voice like that.
Yes.
Even though their background vocalists are covering for the main vocals.
Right.
So,
but only the best get called in to those situations. And what a training ground to work with bands like that. Yeah. It's a training ground that ends in rehab usually, but.
And so he's an older dude, and he launches. I'm going to give it a shot. Then there's a couple other groups in Denver. Charles said she's
doing great. She just opened for Shaka Khan.
Yes. So there's a couple of good bands that I think
Yeah.
She went on a mini tour into Europe.
I love her voice. And she's an amazing, kind person, too.
And then you've got the likes of Daltero, who's been at it a long time.
Yeah.
15 albums strong, they're still going good, and they are on fire right now. Absolutely on fire.
Yeah.
And so Steve is doing a good job, and we talk about that.
Yeah.
You say anything, I mean it, guys.
Nope, not me. They won't get out of me. They'll have to torture me.
And so, that being said, I better hurry up and put this in there before it moves on.
Unbecame experience.
I don't need to just have to do anything.
Unbecame experience for 2.5 days. It's a super life for others.
I try to catch it before it goes.
It's amazing. It just flows from one thing to the next. You must love it.
Yeah, it's hard. At first, the technological part of it is extremely hard to make everything work, connecting everything, one little thing out of whack.
No, it makes sense. I was on a radio interview the other day, and we were having technical difficulties, and
We don't have
they were tortured
We
by
don't
it.
have technical.
It doesn't happen. Yeah, I actually had an interview recently with Tim Board, and he said that he knew you, and I said, oh.
What station was that?
That was Colorado Front Range Radio.
Yes.
Tim, yeah,
Yes.
great guy.
Yes. There's a lot of really great radio stations out there. There's a lot of good TV stations. And, 31 and 2 comes around here a lot. They did the Event Bar piece in here.
So they borrow your studio to do things?
Well, everybody here knew her.
Oh, that's so cool.
So it was a wealth of information.
Wow.
So they thought, come on, let me just,
That's
30 minutes? We have to convert it. 30 minutes? Because yes, we'll be there. So I have to convert. There's a show going on at the time, automated. So you have to automate it, and then you get out.
Yeah.
The other gal comes in and sits and acts like she's on the radio, but she's not on.
Yeah.
Because they were doing the So we do all kinds of good things. It's really fun. You get to talk to a lot of good artists, and You had the Swing Fire people, and you had a lot of good music. Gladys Knight.
So cool. I mean, this radio station is amazing.
It's a different type.
It is.
It's technologically
really
driven.
Yeah. I think it's the way of the future.
It is.
Yeah.
And like I said, streaming, everybody's gone to streaming. You've got Apple TV's done it. Amazon TV's done it. All the big TV stations are streaming. All the radio stations are streaming.
So I'm revamping my website, but I was going to put your logo that's applicable on the front page. What else can I do?
Well, I like my picture on there and a picture of my car.
Exactly, my dog.
My dog. Just kidding. No,
I just think it's so great that you're supporting, local musicians and getting our music out, national musicians.
And regional and international.
International, yeah.
And so it's kind of a lot of fun. And we've got one guy, he's from Denver, his name's Donnie Radford. He's coming to Denver, he's from Malaysia.
Really?
Malaysia. He used to be with an old school group, and they picked him up after the senior left, and I think they're called the Platters. Really old school group. And he stepped up and became part of them, but man, his vocal range, singing ability is just on point. And he was doing this thing in Malaysia. It was for international culinary event. You could see everybody from all over the world with the little signs of them about this jam. But he's doing it with a track.
Yeah.
No band, but his voice.
Yeah.
So he's going to be in
that.
Yeah, he's coming to Denver, and I know him. He's coming to Denver, so we're going to launch him here. And we bring the boxing people in here.
Really?
All the variables. All kinds of variables.
Oh, I didn't know that you did.
Well, the boxing people just.
That's amazing. My dad was really into boxing.
See, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people who like a lot of different things.
Yes.
And because of that, make sure that we give everybody a little something. And so, with that being said, we're going to probably have to call it a day with Cass Clayton. I hope you enjoyed the show. I had a lot of fun with Cass. She did an excellent job and putting up with me because I kind of choked the wheel a little bit there. And finding the real dirt on her.
Now everyone knows.
Now everybody knows, boyfriends. Let's go, Cass.
That's all you know here. Walking to the sunset.
You gotta go look at the moon.
That's right.
So with that being said, we're going to say goodbye on the Facebook feed. See y'all later. We're still on the international feed here, and we'll say goodbye to that right now. And, for those who are listening on the website, we'll say goodbye to you right now and say goodbye. Cass Clayton, I'm glad you got to see us and join us. It was excellent. Thank you.
Top of the line, specialist. No homeowner job